Good morning and welcome to another edition of Let It Be Known Monday morning. And as we tend to say a whole lot, that a lot's going on um, everywhere. Lots going on. We are brought to you by the Bell Project. Got a special this morning on the Bell Project, who is continually helping to keep families together. They're building the justice system rooted in dignity and equality. They've supported more than 40,000 clients through free bail assistance. Visit bellproject.org for more. And we're going to have a whole lot more on the Bell Project this morning. Um, but it's a special on the Bell Project, a special presentation there that you must see. But first, this. Yes, indeed. This morning, overnight, I should say, uh, a woman was arrested. You, unbelievable. Firing shots an AR-15 with an AR-15 style rifle at Rihanna's house. Unreal. She fired, according to authorities, 4 rounds into Rihanna's home in Los Angeles. There's a report that Rihanna was home, and of course, she has small children. She has our children. the the woman police said just they don't know if it was random or targeted, but LAPD Captain Mike Bland said that she, sh the woman is being questioned, put it that way, and more details are expected to be released today in the shooting. But real crazy stuff. Again, it is believed that Rihanna was home at the time of the shooting, not injured, thankfully. Um, but the fact is, how scary is that an AR-15 rifle? The shooting happened. Reportedly, it happened at 1:15 p.m. West Coast time, and it said it wasn't known whether ASAP was home or the children. Where were you, ASAP? You got to do better. You got to do better. You got to protect her at all costs. The woman drove up to the home and started shooting with the AR-15. Police don't have a motive yet, but they said the weapon was recovered by police officers. It was the LAPD's elite robbery homicide division that has taken over the investigation. And video from a NBC News Los Angeles helicopter after the shooting showed what appeared to be bullet holes in a gate at Rihanna's home, and it also showed the public street in front of the home blocked by crime scene tape everywhere. Rihanna lives in the Beverly Crest area, which is about 20 miles northeast of downtown. The one thing about, and I've said this before, the one thing about Los Angeles police, they go all out for their celebrities. They protect their celebrities. But this has to be frightening. And this is where that whole fanatic thing goes just off the charts. This whole uh, worshiping of an individual, and it's gotten so much worse. You know, they have the swatting incidents and things like that. That this was arguably worse than the swatting incident. Just firing at Rihanna's home. And again, there are reports to say that my girl was home. I mean, she's got a, like a big forehead. You can't, I mean, miss that too much. I'm glad that I'm glad she missed the forehead and missed her totally. That's my girl. Y'all know that. And you know, ASAP, you gotta do better. Somebody should have been shooting back ASAP. Put Rihanna in danger like that. We will not tolerate it. Not here. Let it be known. We will not tolerate any type of aggression toward Rihanna. This person obviously uh, has to go away. People probably immediately, we don't know the details, but immediately the fallback would be, or the immediate fallback would, she must be a crazed fan. Take the crazed out of it. Don't treat her like just put her away. Put her away. The woman has children, small children. You're shooting at her house. And it's a safe bet to say that Rihanna didn't do anything to get someone to want to shoot her house up like this. Rihanna's a billionaire who is out there doing her thing with the Fenty stuff and everything else, her business. I mean, come on. Nicki Minaj's house must be a couple blocks down. I mean, take it there. Take it over there somewhere. Shoot. I mean, good lord, don't be messing with Rihanna. Good night. Folks go crazy when it comes to celebrity. Unreal. And speaking of celebrity, too, um, we're gonna get into another celebrity case in a moment, but uh, this week we're gonna have a special on the Michael movie and exclusive reporting on the Michael movie. Um, the family of Michael Jackson saw a private screening. There's about 60 of them altogether who attended this private screening, including Janet Jackson, Jermaine Jackson. Um, but there was a beef. Somebody had beef. We're gonna bring you that on Wednesday because tomorrow we're gonna talk about women and the women's Black Women's Roundtable tomorrow with Melanie Campbell. But this thing with Rihanna is crazy, and you know they live behind these gates and walls and many of them with security, and still this shows you that there's still some vulnerable spots, some vulnerability, and it's got to be very scary for a person who is you know, for a superstar, a megastar. She is outgoing. It's very outgoing. She appears to be anyway. So the LAPD said they will have more details today on a possible motive and perhaps identify the suspect today, who is in custody. Unreal. This is this is this is what it has come to. Now to This case, um, this man, Smokey Robinson, has been singing about love since before a lot of people watching the news were even born. The man is nearly 90 years old, still touring, still smiling, still looking smoother than most people half his age. But right now, the Motown legend isn't dealing with microphones and studio sessions. He's dealing with lawyers, and lawyers, as everybody knows, don't remix songs. They remix paperwork. Attorneys for 6 people suing Smokey allege that the singer and his legal team have been moving a little too slow during the discovery phase of a civil sexual assault lawsuit. John Harris, who represents several of the accusers identified as Jane Doe's 1 through 4, has asked a California judge to step in after what he describes as months of incomplete responses and delays. They're saying Smokey is uh, moving like an old man. Duh. The lawyer says that Smokey's discovery responses have been evasive and structured in a way that slows the case rather than answering questions directly under California civil rules. One point getting attention in the filings, though, involves Smokey's use of the Fifth Amendment, which is odd for a civil case and a civil deposition. The lawyer says that Smokey has invoked the constitutional protection against self incrimination when responding to certain questions in the case. That does raise some curiosity issues, Smokey, and whoever might be advising Smokey. Everybody knows about the Fifth Amendment. That's the one where people say, I plead the fifth. It's usually something you hear in criminal trials, not civil cases. So the lawyers are arguing that it shouldn't be used like a universal skip this question, which is apparently, or at least allegedly, what Smokey's doing. They say that the lawyers for the plaintiff say that his clients have already been through the legal ringer. According to the filings, all 6 accusers have sat for their depositions. Naturally, they're suing, right? Some of them were questioned as many as 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. At some point, they say that stops feeling like a deposition and starts feeling like you're auditioning for a documentary series. The lawyers also pointed to Smokey's $500 million countersuit against the accusers and their attorneys. A half billion dollars. It's the kind of number where people in the courtroom probably looked around like somebody just accidentally added 2 extra zeros. The lawyers for the plaintiffs argued that the countersuit is meant to intimidate and pressure the plaintiffs into dropping their case. But Smokey's attorney, Christopher Frost, said that that's baloney. And he also said that the this is routine stuff. This discovery stuff is routine stuff. And he suggested that the timing doesn't align, or does align with Smokey's announcing new tour dates. But the problem, Chris, the problem is you got to take care of this. You got to take care of this. I mean, tour dates. This is a serious matter that it would seem that Smokey would want to dispense upon. So right now, both sides are doing what lawyers do best. They're pointing across the courtroom saying, no, it's them. It's not me, it's them. Now, this lawsuit began against Smokey Robinson back in May 2025. It was 4 former housekeepers who accused him of assault and battery and other types of misconduct while they worked in his home. And then 2 more accusers popped up, as always the case in these cases. So it brought the number of plaintiffs to 6. Of course, Smokey says these are not true allegations. The allegations are not true, and they are saying that this is just an attempt to get money from a famous entertainer. But the accusers contend that their claims are serious and deserves to be heard. The judge has yet to rule on the latest motions. So for now, it's just court filings, depositions, and it's a legal battle where the only thing smoother than Smokey's voice might be the arguments coming from both sides in the courtroom. Smokey's still trying to get it. 86 years old. 86 years old. Um, but that's Smokey Robinson. We'll see. We will see. It's an amazing time in your life to be accused of committing such heinous act. But Smokey Smokey's still doing his thing though. Look at him. Is he serious? He really cruising together right there, isn't he? Look, he said, "I'm not crying tears of a clown." He's doing his thing. But, you know, uh, I laugh, but the lawsuit is no laughing matter. It's no laughing matter. Whether it is fiction, fact or fiction, it's no laughing matter. Something else that's that's gotten kind of under my skin this morning is this story right here. This story. I mean, are you kidding me? Let's talk about this story. It's out of Georgia because this one right here, this one makes you shake your head and laugh a little at the same time, just trying to understand how somebody thought that this was a good idea. This 73-year-old grandmother who you see here, 73, was at the grocery store just minding her business. Her name is May St. Julian. She was pushing her cart down the aisle at Kroger in DeKalb County. She was looking for some ingredients for a recipe she found online, probably something nice too. Something with seasoning, something somebody's family was about to enjoy. Grandma was about to throw down. Next thing you know, some young, foolish individual, some knucklehead, runs up behind her and smacks her butt. Oh, hold on. You mean to tell me you walk into a grocery store, see a 73-year-old grandmother, and your brain says, yeah, that's the plan? 73-year-old grandmother. The woman probably got grandkids older than the kid who slapped the butt. And she says the slap was so loud it sounded like a gunshot. A gunshot. Can you imagine being in Kroger buying eggs and somebody hears a loud pop in aisle 3? Everybody ducking behind the cereal boxes. People grabbing their carts like shields. Call security. Meanwhile, it's just this idiot running down the aisle, grinning like he just did something clever. You just don't do. What's going on? Rihanna's house gets shot up. Smokey gets sued for assault, and now somebody's running around. Some young knucklehead running around slapping grandmoms on the butt. It's not clever at all. That's how you get chased out the store by somebody's auntie with a frozen turkey. And you know how grandmothers are. They don't scare too easy. They raise whole families and then some. But when something like this happens, it shakes you. She said she was stunned and frightened. And I believe it because nobody expects to go to Kroger and get assaulted between the canned goods and the baking flour. It's like, come on. And the wild part, it gets even wilder because when the police got there, the officer had just handled a similar situation at another grocery store across the street, which means that there's some young dude going around smacking grandmoms on the butt at grocery stores. That is this dude's crime spree. He's not out there robbing banks or stealing cars. He's going around in grocery stores smacking grandmothers on the butt. Thank you. I mean, what is going on with people? People have lost their minds. This is I've heard people say to me, uh, this is the end times. I believe you. I'm here to tell you. We're getting there. Police say they are investigating this incident and they hope to catch the young man quickly. I mean, you're gonna have grandmas walking around with football pads in they in their pants. But Mrs. St. Julian says she's traumatized by the incident and she might even have to seek counseling. She shopped there. She has shopped at the same Kroger for more than 20 years. And now she says she doesn't want to go back. I mean, come on. Nobody should have to worry about getting assaulted while they buying vegetables. And whoever this young man is, I mean, he better hope the police find him first. Because grandmoms, they don't play. Then they usually call Billy or somebody. It's just absolutely insane. Going around smacking a grandma on the behind. It's unreal. Unbelievable. Mm. We're gonna take a break. Are we gonna take a break? Are we good? Because woo, I t- I just can't I can't wrap my head around this one. And the fact that the officer who responded, the officer who responded says that he had just come from another situation, responding to another situation like that. Really? Mm. All right, we're gonna take a break, toss it over to our girl Shawnee B, and check out what she has going on. To shine bright. It's your girl, Shiny B. And if you're cool, you got to cool. Oh, yeah.
Disclaimer. I love a good hack, a good learning tool, glass, because there's so much negative stuff out here on the internet that when you find something that you can share not only with adults but with children, and you can enlighten yourself, why wouldn't you? Hello? Why wouldn't you not? Now I'm going to show you this video, and this is so unique how they're using AI to give health benefits, but they have different categories that they make snippets of these AI themes to help you change your health and other things that you could add a benefit to your life. Now I'm going to roll just this small clip, but as you see it, go look for it on social media and add the page so you can stay upbeat. Okay, now let's roll this bean footage. Let's go.
Warm water. Drink me first thing in the morning. I flush out all the toxins and wake up your metabolism instantly.
I'm probiotic yogurt. Eat me with breakfast to fix your gut biome. I bring an army of good bacteria to fight off the bad guys.
I'm pineapple. Eat a slice of me if you feel heavy. My enzymes break down the protein in your food so you digest it fast. I'm oats. Eat me if you are constipated. I act like a soft broom that sweeps your system clean without any pain.
I'm banana. Peel me open if you have heartburn. I coat your stomach lining to stop the burn and give you energy. I'm ginger. Chew on me if you feel nauseous. I relax your stomach muscles and stop that queasy feeling instantly.
I'm peppermint. Drink me as tea if you feel bloated. I pop the gas bubbles in your tummy so you feel light again.
I'm lemon. Squeeze me into water to balance your pH. I help your liver clean the blood.
Baby, it's so much trash on the internet. When you find something that's relatable, teaches you something new, you get excited. Now, it doesn't take away from what you thought you knew or some things you've never ever seen in your life. So I'm here for it. I love the learning tools when it's used correctly. So a bunch of those I did know already. And there's some I was like, okay, I could consider it. But there's so many of these videos in different elements and different lanes that you're going to be like, yay. You're going to do yourself justice just paying attention. And it doesn't take but 30 seconds to even get this information. So just imagine if they made this a real cartoon and put it on like different networks. Oh, baby, they're going to be taking over with that last. And I'm going to be here for it. So if you have social media, subscribe to the page so you can see the daily updates of how to remain healthy. And if you don't have social media, I'm sure this is Googleable. Pull it up and then just add it as a bookmark or favorite so you can go back. And this could be a good family activity. Because I learned some stuff in the other videos. I was like, dang. So you know what it's always about. Each one teach one. You're never too old to learn something new. So thank y'all, AI, for using AI right. So we can learn something and not deaden our brain cells, okay? But y'all, follow that page, learn those hacks. But I'm just the messenger. It's your girl, Shani B. If you're cool with your girl, gone fool with your girl. Make sure you check out my website. Yes, www.shinybeentertainment.com. Check out the finger option. Drop no donations, but never any pressure to do either of the two, because I see the likes, the shares, the comments. Means the world to me. So I just want to tell you thank you from my lips to your ears for rocking me, because y'all can be anywhere in the world, but y'all come keep me company, and I love y'all for that, for real. Hop in the comments. If you have a learning tool or just something that can help us add to our lives, drop it in the comments, man, because again, we see so many things go through our algorithms that now people are like, I don't want to learn nothing because everything is making me cry, sad, and depressed. But when you finally find something that's positive, why not share it? So drop it in the comments so we can all just get us some positivity in our brain cells. Get back to learning. It's in a book. It's reading. Ugly. But seriously, learn something. But I am just a messenger. So until next time, next story. And I'm out this piece.
Oh, gosh. Absolutely hilarious news you can use from the one and only Shani B. Check her out on TikTok. We love to check her out. She is also an accomplished comedian. So check out Shani B on TikTok. That's where she roams. That's the home she roams on TikTok. So cool for her. Turning our attention to this story here, folks, before we get into more, actually, this kind of segues into our sponsor and what they do. But before we even get to that, let's talk about Charles Sonny Burton, who this guy is being executed in Alabama on the 12th for a murder that many say he did not commit. Advocates for Mr. Burton, including the daughter of the man who was murdered, are asking for Governor Kay Ivey to step in to commute his sentence. He's 75 years old, and he's been in prison now for 33 years after he was tried and convicted in 1991 for a group armed robbery at a Talladega auto zone that ended in the death of a 34-year-old named Doug Battle. According to Mr. Burton, he did not know there would be a murder that day, and he never even heard the shot. He said he would have stopped that. He claims that when he went into a store with a gun and stole cash, but fled to a getaway car when he was done. According to the Associated Press, court testimony shows that Battle entered the store at the end of the robbery and exchanged words with the victim. His execution is legal under felony murder, according to authorities, a rule that allows for someone to be charged with murder if they were involved in committing a violent felony where a murder occurs. Prosecutors claim that he was the ringleader of the attack, which he denies. And some jurors have spoken out since saying that they regret voting to end Burton's life. Six of the jurors have written to Kay Ivey to ask for him not to be executed. It might be too late. We still have a few days. It's actually got 3 days. It's the 12th that he is scheduled to be executed. Again, bad association spoils useful habits. And his problem is that he was there committing a crime and a murder happened. And in most jurisdictions, quite probably Alabama as well, you will be charged with murder if there was a murder committed. Particularly, now he doesn't have to be the ringleader, but he participated. Now, it appears that his argument is that he was not a part of that gang. Just so happens that somebody else was robbing the same place. It was a whole different robbery. It appears to be his argument. It's quite the argument. It's quite the argument to make. But that's his argument, and they're hopeful that he can go free, or that at least the governor commutes the sentence from death to perhaps life in prison. But it remains to be seen. A few days are left, so we will see. And speaking of crimes and prison, I want you to check out this before we get into our, as Shawnee would say, next story. I want you to check out this story here, please.
My understanding of time travel is mental. It's more of like having patience. You could go back into a moment, kind of like a daydream. You're taking time to go back. And then moving forward is when you're thinking ahead. Your memories are ahead of time. You're like, what I'm gonna do next? So you're moving forward in time. We all do it. We all got the capability, to time travel. It all started 2014, November. I had a little situation here in my building. I came to the aid of a friend. He was getting a ticket to having a beer. He was drinking. He was upset. I said, you know what? I'll calm you down. I went to go get him a cigarette. So I rode my bike to where they was located. The cop was just like, get out of here, move. So I got out the way,
Okay. Nice, man. Surviving like always. What's your name? Just streamed up?
Yeah, I'm just evening it up.
Your cousin told me that you have some problems with the police, man.
Yeah. I was on bail for 2 years for riding a bike on the sidewalk.
Riding your bike?
Riding a bike.
Are you kidding me, brother?
I'm not kidding. Try to give me 6 months.
It's incredible, bro. Cuquito, oiga, por manejar una bicicleta le querían dar 6 meses.
That happened in 2014.
2014, so it's 2 years.
They still got my bike locked up. I parked my bike and I'm sitting in front of the building on the steps. I'm checking my phone and I see 4 feet, the officer and his partner. He's like, let me get your ID. And I gave it to him. He didn't even look at the name or nothing. He just put it in his pocket, get on the wall. So now I'm standing up. I'm like, what did I do? You look at the ID. This is where I live. I asked him again. I said, what did I do? He called the 85. That means everybody come kick your ass. The whole precinct came. So like 20 cars. I'm still trying to like explain myself. Like I didn't do anything. Nobody came to talk. Everybody came to fight. Everybody came to like grab me up, you know? And I was just like, the cop is wrong and I didn't want to make him right by fighting. So I went, you know, willfully. When everything was all said and done, I was charged with resisting arrest. I went to the arraignment. I seen the judge and my bail was $500. That's a lot of money in my neighborhood, you know? That's rent money. I said, look at my shoes. Do you think I can pay bail? Like I had holes in them. My lawyer was saying, do I have a job? Am I working? Do I have family? And I said, no, I have none. Adopted, you know, it's just me and my daughter. And I cried a tear. They asked for bail that I didn't have. So now it's like, I'm a hostage, you know? So it's like, if you don't got the money, what you gonna take? Community service? What you gonna take, 6 months? That's how they had me. So I'm just like, yo, I'm stuck, I'm lost. I felt like they just put me in a box and shipped me away and nobody knew. I wanted to call my daughter, but my mind was on dollars first. So my 2 phone calls, it was not to say, I love you. It was to call my friends to say, do you have any money? And then you talking to the officers and they got no respect for you because once you go past their doors, you're convicted already in their eyes. They're like, you're here, you're a criminal. The way I understand it, our bodies is like 95% water. And what water does, it flows. It has no set direction. So the same way like water freezes, you could put it in a cup, it'll take that form. You could put it in here, it'll take the form of this whole bucket, one big solid piece. So wherever you go, you gotta like know how to change for the environment. And that's how humans are, we adapt. I'm in jail and it's like, you know, the underworld, it's like, it's different, life is different. I seen fights, I seen violence, a lot of violence. Days was going by and I was just sitting there and it's more of a mental game now. It's like you in a zoo, you behind these bars, they lock you up. I'm the animal in here. And the DA will come to you with like a steak. You've been there 7 days, I didn't eat nothing. And they're like, oh, you want this steak? Which is an offer, you know, plea deal. They say, you take this steak and you can leave. How long am I gonna hold on to my innocence? You know, how long am I gonna be like, you know, I wanna go home. So I was kind of helpless. Like I was really, really, really feeling like there's nobody here. I don't know what to do. You know, I'm thinking about my kid, how I'm gonna get back to her because she has me. You know, I stay alive for her. And I heard my name over the loudspeaker. They was calling people for bail. And when I heard my name, that's like the happiest feeling in the world because I'm thinking that nobody even knows I'm here. The Bronx Freedom Fund, they paid the bail and that got me out and got my life back going, you know, like it was. And I was just so happy because it was right before Thanksgiving. They give me hope back in society. When somebody helps you and nobody else even thinking of you, you know? The case went on for 2 years and it was dropped. It was dismissed. But if I didn't get bailed out, I would have sacrifice my freedom. I'd have been like, you know what, I did it. Just give me the, just to get out. They didn't take the bail off me, so that means that I'd have been locked up for 2 years. I don't know who has that much patience. At a time, you might break down. So without the Bronx Freedom Fund, I know I'd have had a case. I'd have had a record. I would have been wrong. I would have been guilty just because of my finances. But justice is supposed to be blind. That's how I see it.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, the Bronx Freedom Fund is now the Bell Project. The Bell Project has been doing their thing for several years now, and hoping to get rid of this idea of you can't come up with bail, you stay in prison or jail. Which brings us to this young lady who it's an incredible story. We wrote about it. You can read about it on blackpressmediausa.com or the Washington Informer, Dallas Examiner, and a few other newspapers. But this former corrections officer, as you see her there, Daisha is her name. And Daisha describes the night she went to jail. Her voice was steady as she described this, but layered with so much reflection. She says that it was just a thoughtless night. She was under the influence and heavily triggered. She had just finished a shift at work and was riding with a friend when police pulled them over. She says officers approached and after they approached, on the passenger side, they ran her name, and there was a warrant appeared in their system, driving under suspension and a missed court date that she says she never knew about because the notice went to the wrong address. This is a corrections officer. She says sometimes the first impression is all you get with somebody, and they get stuck with that. The bail was just $250. Well, $250, it might as well have been $200,000 for Daisha, because she spent 12 days in jail. She says, I felt kind of violated. She described how two male corrections officers searched her and unzipped her hoodie despite her objections. She was angry and she was intoxicated. She admits that. She says she flooded a toilet in her pod after being denied a phone call. She says it was like an out-of-body situation. She says, I was so mad they wouldn't let me make a phone call. I could have bonded out that night. But she could not. The jail was the same one where she had worn that uniform as a corrections officer on the other side of the bars. She says, when you're a CO, you're honored. You're important. But being an inmate, you go from feeling righteous to feeling like a peasant. Inside, Daisha says she tried to steady herself by steadying others. She says, I spoke life into the other inmates. She says, we talk and I try to broaden people's perspectives about what we were going through. She says it wasn't just for them, it was for her too. She has lived with mental health challenges for years, she says. She says what people don't know is that without being under a substance, sometimes it feels like you are anyway. She does accept responsibility. She's not trying to skirt it. She says, even with mental health, you've got to present yourself in a way people can honor. She says, broken crayons still color. She also said that she challenged a corrections officer who was cursing at detainees. She says she got into one of the COs. She was calling inmates out their name, cussing at them. And she says, I had to remind her, that's not part of your job description. You don't get paid for that. When the officer later told her she had won, Daisha responded, "She told me you won." I said, "No, I'm behind this cage. I didn't win anything. I just need you to stop treating people like that." So she became a voice for the voiceless. She got released after a counselor connected her with the Bell Project. She says, "When I got to talk to them, it was a breath of fresh air," talking about the Bell Project officials. She said the lady from the Bell Project told her that she was working to get her out. And sure enough, she got released that day. Across the United States, hundreds of thousands of legally innocent people sit in jail awaiting trial. Remember, they say that you are innocent until proven otherwise. And so the question becomes, why are you treated like you've been convicted? So in various places, like Oklahoma, for instance, more than 9,000 people sit in local jails on any given day, nearly 70% legally innocent and awaiting court. And if you go to predominantly Black Fulton County, Georgia, 32 people have died in jail since 2021. Nearly 90% of those incarcerated, of course, are Black, in a county where Black residents make up 43% of the population. More than 1/3 of the detainees face bonds under $5,000, but it's still an amount that keeps them jailed because they could not afford upfront payments. In Texas, nearly 70% of people in jail are in jail on any given day, awaiting trial at a cost of more than $1.1 billion annually. That's a heck of a stat, isn't it? That is one heck of a stat. $1.1 billion annually. The Bell Project's report, and which you can find at bellproject.org, is titled "Behind the Bill." It details how lawmakers have pushed constitutional changes that would have expanded pretrial detention before advocates secured protections requiring clear and convincing evidence before someone could be jailed pretrial. If you go down even further south to Florida, the Senate Rules Committee amended a Senate Bill 600, which was to preserve nonprofit bail funds after language that would have blocked nonprofits from reusing refunded bail money threatened to shut them down. And so if you go to Washington, where Congress passed H.R. 5214, which is legislation that mandates expanding cash bail in the district, the Bell Project warned it would dismantle a system where 88% of people released pretrial remained arrest-free and 98% remained free from violent arrest. Aaron George is the national director of policy at the Bell Project, and Aaron says that H.R. 5214 is a dangerous federal intrusion that overrides Washington, D.C.'s proven pretrial system and the democratic will of district residents. She says, despite its claims, H.R. 5214 is not about public safety, it's about control, and it will have devastating ripple effects on families, communities, and on safety. And if you look at the Bell Project's national report, which is titled Detention by Design, it shows that more than a quarter of states with constitutional rights to bail have proposed or enacted amendments which expand detention eligibility between 2021 and 2025. They say in fact, David Gasper, who was the CEO of the Bell Project, said a quiet constitutional crisis is unfolding in America. State by state, he says, the right to bail is being rewritten, expanding preventive detention, deepening reliance on money bail, and eroding the presumption of innocence. And another report you can find on bailproject.org is the organization's Inside Bail Reform, which outlines 6 core components of effective policy, including eliminating cash bail altogether, strengthening due process, ensuring counsel at first appearance, timely hearings, which is a major problem, voluntary supportive services, and court reminders. Well, since its founding, the Bail Project has supported more than 40,000 people, including about 35,000 whose release it secured through bail assistance. 92% have returned to court. So that's not even a concern, because that was one of the things that lawmakers kept bringing. What if they don't come back? You bail them out and they run out on you. Well, the overwhelming majority, almost all of them, 92%, show up for court. In Dacia's case, she says freedom after jail was not simple. The case kept her from working for nearly a year because the stigma followed her. She had been incarcerated. She says, I'm a hard worker. All I've ever known is to work. She says the Bail Project continues to check in on her. And that's the other part of the Bail Project. They don't just put up the bail for you, and they don't expect anything in return except stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble. They just want you to have a life. Dr. Nicole says some would say that the system is broken, but unfortunately, we know that it is actually doing what it was set up to do: keep people enslaved 100%. She says the Bail Project, Dacia says the Bail Project helped her with resources and advice when she's in error. They have challenged her to grow. And that's how, she says, you become the best version of yourself, by having people who really cares. And that's the thing, folks. So the Bail Project, again, they offer all of these services. They don't ask you to do anything in return. They just want a system that keeps families together. They want a system, a justice system, where you can still maintain your dignity, a system that is more that is centered more on equality, because we know it's not. Dacia's living proof of that, and so is so many others. I happen to know someone who the Bail Project, it seemed like, oh gosh, how are they going to get out? The Bail Project bailed them out. The Bail Project picked them up from jail, took them home. Bail Project took them on job interviews, all at no cost. They operate on voluntary donations. Dr. Nicole said that project is doing the Lord's work, saving folks' lives. Good for them. But they see you through, because it's about dignity. I mean, it's great. You hear stories where, a philanthropist did this or somebody did that, and they gave this, and that's great. But what they do is go beyond. They make sure that not only is the need of getting bailed out satisfied, but that all important jumpstart that help you center yourself, as Dacia says. They remain committed to you. And just to think that there are some opposed to the Bail Project, it's unbelievable. Dacia said she wants to do what they do. She wants to do similar work. She says, if I could, I'd do what they do. It takes patience and purpose. They're selfless, They help people restart. It reminds me who I am, and that it's never too late to start over. That's what they do. Freedom should be free, they say. They want to end cash bail, and that is the Bail Project. Our Let It Be Known's primary partner, and will be for the next couple of months. And it's a great cause. It's a great organization, and you'll be hearing more from them. We're going to have guests on the program over the next several weeks, talking about various situations and means in which they can assist and be assisted. You can go to bailproject.org. You can donate to them to keep their great work going. But it's an awesome, awesome thing, and Dacia's story is really one to learn from. And belated good morning to RNG, who says it's SWAC men and women basketball tournament week. So we will be checking out RNG on the RNG SWAC Sports this week on YouTube, because for me, that's how I learn a lot about college sports is watching him, and in the very humorous way in which he teaches and breaks things down. I followed college sports when I was younger and all of that, but I never knew the nuances the way he is able to break it down. So check out RNG in the SWAC Sports. It's always a delight. It's always a delight. You will at the very least learn one thing, probably more, but at the least one thing. That is that's that's an understatement, but it is what it is. RNG SWAC Sports, folks, and continue to check out.
Let's go.
Just for you, giving you.
Let's go,
you,
Flav.
you, you,
Hey. Rubber, give it